Yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's a whole new. Some people might say it's a disruptive technology, but we're bringing technology to the people to serve human needs.
My name is Rod Olstad, and I'm an independent podcast producer in Edmonton, Alberta. This program explores two new innovative cooperative ventures that respond to the challenges and opportunities of today. A recent article in the Globe and Mail estimated that between 20 and 30% of the Canadian workforce are part of the new gig economy. That is, those who take short-term contracts, freelancers, contingency workers, independent contractors, consultants, and the self-employed. According to a 2015 Statistics Canada study, about 500,000 Canadians start a self-employment venture every year, and about the same number stop. During times of high unemployment, even more Canadians pursue self-employment ventures. It appears that older Canadians are especially drawn to the unincorporated business venture. Recent data indicates that among workers aged 45 to 64, anywhere from 16 to 22% of them were self-employed. This could indicate higher layoff rates of elder workers, or it could be that more mature Canadians have the skills and experience to begin a business venture on their own. Any way that you look at it, there is evidently a great need for effective services to bolster success rates for self-employed Canadians and those of the new gig economy. Wayfinders Business Co-operative is a recently formed entity that does just that. It focuses on services mainly to and from self-employed professionals, small business, and so forth. Welcome to my guest, Randal Adcock, CIO, the Chief Innovations Officer for Wayfinders. Randal's here to share a bit of the story about how Wayfinders came to be. And also, welcome to Paul Belanger, who is leading a cooperative effort around organic food growing and is also a member of Wayfinders Business Co-operative. We'll spend a few minutes with each of our guests to focus on their most recent activities and the challenges of organizing such endeavors. Well, so I'd like to start with you, Randal. I'm wondering if you could just describe a little bit about yourself, your history, and how you came to be the Chief Innovations Officer for Wayfinders Business Co-operative.
Thanks, Rod, and thank you for having me here today. Well, this story of the Wayfinders Business Co-operative goes way back. It's only been incorporated since last summer, 2017, but it has roots as long as I go back as an adult. I've always been interested in community development and have a degree in community development. And I have also had experience coaching small business people and experience with regional economic development, and I thought I should bring all of the things I've learned together into one place and offer the services to people who might otherwise be struggling in small business and self-employment.
Well, I recently, I suppose, full disclosure, I am a member of the Wayfinders Business Co-operative, though I'm not a member of the board and the directors. I did attend the first meeting of a few weeks back, and I was very impressed with the caliber and the experiences of the new. Is it a board of directors? Is that the?
We have a separate advisory board.
An advisory board, is that? Yeah. And that's separate from the
that's
from
separate,
the board.
Right.
I see. So, for example, I remember hearing from the tech person, and he seems to be very experienced and especially concerned about security for the organization.
Cybersecurity is a general term, because a lot of our operations do depend on our operations in a cloud computing environment. And there, of course, are worries or concerns about data privacy and getting hacked and so on. So we want to make sure we have all the expertise available to ensure that security is in place.
So that's a main part of the services offered, or one of the parts at least of the services offered, is kind of an online presence and a platform for interaction between members and that kind of thing.
Right. It's a kind of a combination of components. I believe that we need to look at the support system for entrepreneurs and managers holistically, that they have a number of different requirements, and we'll try to address each of those requirements. Most businesses need some kind of software, so we'll provide a software as a service in a cloud environment, a full office suite of productivity tools that can be shaped and molded depending on what our users require, what our members, co-op members, want to have in terms of software. But we'll also have software that enables people to collaborate with one another and do crowdsourcing, and we'll be able to match people up who will be able to best serve each other's needs. But we complement all of that as well with face-to-face opportunities. We're trying to establish a local chapter clubs by the neighborhood or by industry, where people of common interests can get together, do mentoring and coaching and training sessions, business networking, and so on.
So it's kind of a self-support network for those who are in this new gig economy?
That's right. Self-employment has always been around. Artists, for example, like yourself, have always been doing gigs, but it is growing, partly because of automation of industry, but also partly because of business practices having changed over the last couple of decades. But people are more and more specialized than they ever were, and they would rather focus on their core value added that they have to offer rather than worrying about the administration of their business. So Wayfinders is designed to take away a lot of that administrative burden. We're kind of like a surrogate bureaucracy that is tailored to the needs of gig workers.
Or surrogate administration or something like that?
Right. Mm-hmm. Through a combination of the software services and the collaboration utilities and the local chapter clubs.
I mean, I think that would be very helpful. I remember as a self-employed musician and music teacher, I remember it was quite a struggle at the beginning, and it's and it felt quite alone, I guess, some of the time, and the notion of having a community of people nearby or close at hand with similar challenges, I think, has an appeal to me now that I remember my past experiences.
Yes, and there's more and more evidence now that the most successful businesses are plugged into a community of trust. And in the world of economic development, we're talking about industry clusters and business ecosystems. These metaphors are there because it's so true that people do very well when they focus on what they do best and depend on other people to do the things that they need to get done that they're either not good at or they don't care about.
And I remember also from the general meeting, it was nice to see the ethnic diversity of the group as well. So and it sounds like that's been quite a deliberate, intentional effort on the part of the organization.
Diversity is a very important and interesting component. I think that it's not just a matter of diversity, but how we manage it and actually leverage diversity. It can help people become more innovative. If you're sharing ideas with somebody who has a different worldview or a different cultural background, even gender differences, it helps to have different points of view to bring out your own creativity and perhaps focus on your talents in new ways.
I guess one thing I'd like to mention as well is that I used to belong to an organization a number of years ago called LETS, which was the local exchange and trading system, which was kind of like a barter system. and it kind of tried to link up the people who were buying and people who were selling different skills. I suppose perhaps on a similar line, but it's not the same thing. Or is there a potential for that kind of platform being available as well?
I know some people accuse me of trying to boil the ocean, but yes, we can include. We want to include a bartering, trading kind of system. The new technologies that are emerging are using blockchain technology, and we're looking at that. But in the meantime, there's a lot we can do with just a good, well-designed database to manage transactions among our members. Not all these transactions have to include cash currency. We can keep track of transactions using a credit system built into the database. So then people are more likely to use those credits making purchases from other members of the organization. And so what we're trying to do is bring together the best practices in community development and business development and local economic development and synthesize them and weave them together in meaningful ways that provides a platform for optimizing everyone's performance, including getting people the rewards and benefits that they deserve.
Well, and of course, the best practices of cooperatives as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a big part of this, of course.
So there are the 7 principles of cooperative, the notion of one member, one vote, and I understand that's part of the underlying foundation of the organization.
Yes, the interesting thing about a platform cooperative, and there aren't too many examples you can point to right now, but we can really extrapolate the co-op principles of one member, one vote to a more democratic decision-making process on a regular basis. So it's not just one vote once a year for a board of directors, but on an ongoing basis on the platform, you can have people voting on all kinds of decisions that on how to manage our services on a day-to-day basis. Not to say that we would hold a vote on every decision. That gets a little cumbersome, but there are lots of critical decisions about what services we're going to offer or what bells and whistles we want to have on those software applications, or in the local chapters, what kinds of services will the local chapters offer.
It is interesting that there's I have never heard of a cooperative platform like this, so I think it's great to see this kind of innovation happening along this model. And the notion of ownership, the benefits of ownership and of having democratic control, to me is very appealing as well.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's a whole new, some people might say it's a disruptive technology, but we're bringing technology to the people to serve human needs. And that's something that some of the other corporations out there in the platform world are not doing. And you can see they're getting into trouble by allowing breaches of privacy and so on. There are some things going on there that I don't think would happen within a cooperative community.
And I think given the controversies over Facebook lately, and I suppose to some degree Google as well, that's got to ring a little bit more positively for listeners as well, to think that this effort is separate from, or I guess, or will it be separate from? I guess it's Facebook. It is on Facebook, though.
Well, we have to integrate into the ecosystem that is there, but none of this is static. It's all a work in progress. Civilization is an ongoing experiment. Wayfinders Business Co-operative is an experiment. It will evolve and develop, and as it grows, hopefully, it will perhaps displace some of those other models that are out there. If we do things smart and develop a kind of collective intelligence or organizational intelligence using all the brain power of all of our members and then some, then we can really come up with something truly amazing.
Is there a difference, or what is the difference between the advisory committee and the board of directors?
Well, the board of directors hold the ultimate control over the direction of the company. They set the vision and the strategies and make decisions on what kinds of services we're going to offer. They don't get involved in the day-to-day operations necessarily. That would be up to staff when we get some. And the advisory committee are people, professionals who don't actually have a decision-making power, but we bring them on board to listen to their sage advice. So we've got a member of he's a senior partner of a major accounting firm, and he'll be helping us on the finance. We have a seasoned lawyer who is been around and knows everything about co-op law. And we have another person who runs a marketing company. So we'll be taking advice from these people on not only strategies, but also the ins and outs of managing the business.
Is it a cooperative company, or is it a?
It is a company, but it's not unlike a private company or even a public company. Every shareholder has one vote. So it is democratic principles that way.
So you'd still consider it a company,
It's
but
a company.
It's a cooperative
Yeah,
company.
Yeah. I think that essentially at this stage, we're setting a platform for our own future. And it's an experiment. We encourage people to check us out on our website and get in touch with me by email if necessary, if they're interested. Because this is something that does require a wide range of skill sets to be brought to the table to make this happen.
That was Randal Adcock, Chief Innovations Officer for the Wayfinders Business Co-operative. For more information and or to join the cooperative, see www.wayfindersbusinesscooperative.ca or email Randal at randaladcock@gmail.com. My next guest is Paul Belanger. Paul is a man who lives his environmental convictions to their fullest, an advocate for better environmental policies and practices. Paul is also owner-operator of one of the most successful eco-design and build companies in Alberta, Living Design Systems. Paul is a member of Wayfinders Business Co-operative. He is also initiating the Calahoo Growers Co-operative. Paul joins us from his grid-free solar home west of Edmonton. So, Paul Belanger, I've known you for a lot of years, Paul, and I'd like you to go ahead and take the floor there and give a description of your roots, I guess, and of where you have been and where you'd like to go here.
Well, thanks for inviting me into this podcast. And I think trying to describe the roots of where my motivations come from. I think, like many other people, it started way back with the first wave of environmentalism, first big wave in the late 60s and 70s when I was very young, and that bug infected me and it's been in me all the time. With several other people in 1987, we formed an environmental group called the Green Foundation in northern Alberta, in Calahoo, and we were looking at what to do in terms of a first project that would look positive and be looked at as a positive project by everyone, not an adversarial sort of lobbyist type of effort. So we began a recycling initiative in the town of Calahoo and built a recycling facility there. And then once it was all set and running, we passed it on to the town of Calahoo, and they were happy to take it over, and they were part of our team. And after that, and our efforts spread to Grand Prairie, and then later to Peace River, and things turned out very, very well. And so when I left Calahoo finally, I began to look at other initiatives that were more, what I thought would be more progressive or more towards leading us to a new green society, always having that sort of idealistic view. And so that led to many different projects and initiatives.
So a concern for the environment is obviously been an underlying factor and motivator for most of your life, it sounds like.
Right. It became a motivator in terms of what I wanted to learn and what I wanted to do as a career. So my own work career, starting in 1997, I started a company to build solar straw bale houses, and the idea behind that was, well, there must be an option where we can build locally, not need factories, and live grid-free without needing too much, intrusive infrastructure. And so I went through a series of, a few dozen houses, trying to perfect and demonstrate that in an affordable, effective, healthy way. And it turned out to be quite work intensive, quite knowledge intensive. I was like both in school and in a new business. It's pretty challenging, great ups and downs, and but overall enjoying the learning experience, even though there were challenges in terms of management, people, and finances. And most of the time the finances went well, and other times they didn't. And that's just the reality of this kind of business. If you're in an innovative business, it takes longer to establish a strong workflow, cash flow, and so I've gained a lot of wisdom teeth by chewing on more than I should be chewing on, and I don't mind doing that, and I'll keep doing that. That's just I like a challenge. I think that's important. If you're getting involved in a business or a co-op, you better like challenges, and if you want stability and if a person is sort of has thin skin and gets stressed easy, they best go get a job.
So I mean, your business, of course, has been building straw bale houses for many years, and I think you've mentioned that you've built quite a few over the years.
Right. We're up to over 40 now, and we're continuing to design. Create the blueprints for houses, but what we're doing is passing on the construction to others. So we're no longer the general contractor, and so we're simply either project manager or just the architectural group and design engineering group that produces the working drawings.
And you have a website for people to have a look at that I can post with this podcast?
Absolutely, yeah. It's pretty easy. sunandstraw.com, and a fair amount of information there that describes a solar grid-free house that's fireproof.
And more recently, you've been working on another project outside of, I guess, northwest of Edmonton near Calahoo. Could you describe that?
Sure. I've always had a great interest in food and agriculture and food self-sufficiency, which is a component of living off the industrial paradigm. And so this opportunity presented itself. It wasn't really planned. It sort of formed over a rapid period of time last summer when another group failed to purchase a piece of land where which was ideal for organic gardening. And so I ended up looking at, well, what could I do then if this group can't buy the land? They were looking to do to turn the land and the building into an educational center. They weren't able to get the funds, so I looked at what's possible. And the co-op model it shows its strength, and that it it looks like we have a viable concept on the go, and so what's come out of that is a project called the Calahoo Gardens Food Growers Co-op. And in a nutshell, what that is a place where several agri-enterprises can each take a few acres on that same piece of land, share the cost of that land, and with their own business plan, create their own enterprise, and have a variety of businesses. So each shareholder of this particular co-op could choose to be a market gardener, a greenhouse grower, a cheesemaker, a small chicken farm, or many other things related to organic food production. And so what I've done with our organization, the Green Foundation, is created a development group to facilitate this. So in other words, the development group gets the land and then makes sure that it's very affordable for each enterprise, and then plays a role in developing a template business plan for each enterprise or each person or couple or business that wants to set themselves up there.
How much land is there?
Well, this first chunk is 73 acres, and already others have come forward in the area with offerings of other pieces of land, including quarter sections, in the same area, in the same Calahoo area. And so we'd like to we're looking to keep the different spots of land close together for several logistics reasons, physical logistics reasons, but...
So you've chosen to become a member of the Wayfinders Business Co-operative, and what drew you towards membership in the cooperative?
Well, knowing a couple of the members and getting to know Randal, it looked like this group had interesting or different objectives that were more socially or human inclined, which is basically what the environmental movement about is being more sometimes more compassionate or more interested in human and natural values, as much at least as or more than just materialistic values. So yes, the Wayfinders, I think, is going the right direction, and I'd certainly like to help the Wayfinders whatever way I can to get to the next level, to be successful.
Is there anything else that you'd like to add? So thank you very much, Paul. And Randal, is there anything else that you'd like to underline here after that discussion?
Well, I think there's a good prospect ahead for all of us in the co-op movement. I think there's more and more sensitivity to human values and organizations that are set up there to serve the people and not just to make money. Nothing wrong with making money. It's just that I think that people deserve to get a fair reward for the value that they've created and they offer. And Wayfinders is there to help support that.
Wonderful. Thank you very much to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was Randal Adcock, Chief Innovations Officer of Wayfinders Business Co-operative, and Paul Belanger, owner-operator of Living Design Systems, Eco Design and Build Company, and also the initiator for the Calahoo Food Growers Co-operative project.